What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Bisping on Bobby Green's chances against Islam, Michael Chandler preparing for Tony Ferguson, and much more. Michael Bisping likes Bobby Green's chances in short notice fight against Islam Makhachev. There are many in the MMA world who don't really think that Bobby Green could do the seemingly impossible and beat Islam Makhachev in a short notice fight. Green is a longtime UFC veteran who is currently unranked in the stacked lightweight division, stepping in to face Makhachev on just 10 days notice after his original opponent, Beneil Dariush, was forced to withdraw from the February 26 main event clash due to injury. The fight was thought to be a title shot eliminator, but now with this new wrinkle, Bobby Green has an opportunity to leapfrog a whole heap of fighters and make his mark in the UFC's lightweight division if he's able to upset Makhachev, who is currently on a 9-fight winning streak. One person who believes in Green is Michael Bisping, and he thinks that Green has a real shot at winning this main event fight. The former middleweight champion said as much in a recent video on his YouTube channel, talking about Green's keys to victory and what he would need to avoid from the Dagestani standout. This is what Bisping had to say.
Islam's great. You know, we all know everyone's high on Islam, but I call me crazy, but I think there's a good chance that Bobby Green might pull this off. There's also a very good chance that Islam Makhachev takes him down and mauls him, but I don't think it's going to be that simple.
Bisping goes on to talk about Green striking, how much better he is in the stand-up than Makhachev, and how slick his ground game is, especially his takedown defense. All of this will be on display in the February 26 main event. What do you think about Bisping's comments? Do you agree with him? Or do you believe that Makhachev has this fight in the bag? Let us know in the comments. Brendan Schaub is completely on board the Khamzat hype train and doesn't think Usman wants any of it. Khamzat Chimaev has been unstoppable in, well, all of his MMA fights so far. He's 10-0 in his career and has never gone past the second round, finishing all of his opponents, especially with those big mitts of his. He even finished Gerald Meerschaert with one punch inside of a minute and finished two fighters inside of 10 days in two different weight classes at middleweight and welterweight, one of which was his UFC debut. He's clearly shown that he belongs not only in the UFC, but surely in the top 10 of the welterweight division. He's currently preparing in Thailand for a much publicized fight against Brazilian contender Gilbert Burns, who is ranked number 2 in the division. The fight has yet to be confirmed from the UFC, although a lot of sources say that it's going to take place on April 19th at UFC 273. But Chimaev has consistently called out the top guys in the welterweight division, and even in heavier divisions as well. The hype has been so loud that even welterweight champion Kamaru Usman has been fielding questions about fighting Khamzat. Basically, Usman says he'll be waiting. But one guy who thinks that Usman wants none of Khamzat is Brendan Schaub. The fighter turned pundit and stand-up comedian made this statement about the whole thing.
Nobody wants to fight Khamzat. I don't think Kamaru does. And you know, the thing is if I'm ranked, top 10, I'm saying this, I'm leaning on the rankings going, he's 11, I'm not fighting him, but we all know why you're not fighting him. The Khamzat train's coming, it's undeniable, it's scary, and we're getting a lot of questions answered very soon when he fights Gilbert Burns.
What are your thoughts about Brendan's comments here? Let us know in the comments. Michael Chandler is looking forward to fight against El Cucuy, even if he has a few screws loose. There's been some back and forth online and talk in the media that a fight between Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson is brewing. Ferguson has been a bit chatty online about it as well, calling out Chandler for the fight. While the UFC is looking like they are working behind the scenes to make this actually take place, Chandler himself is training as if the fight is going to take place. While there's nothing solidified yet, Chandler hopes to take on El Cucuy this summer. It would be a fantastic matchup, as both are very well rounded and have been top lightweight for years, even when Chandler was the lightweight champion in Bellator. Tony, however, has been in a bit of a skid over his last few fights, losing to Justin Gaethje, current champion Charles Oliveira, and Beneil Dariush in his last few bouts. He hasn't fought since May of last year, dropping a unanimous decision to Dariush, but he's always dangerous and is a former interim lightweight champion. Meanwhile, Chandler is coming off 2 losses of his own, although both are against the guys who are competing for the lightweight title in just a few months, in Oliveira and Gaethje. The last time we saw Chandler in the octagon, he was fighting in the 2021 Fight of the Year against Justin Gaethje, having come out on the losing end of that fight in November. Still, Chandler understands why this Ferguson fight is appealing, and said this during a recent interview.
I'm good in all the areas that Tony is good. I think he's got very slick jiu-jitsu. I have yet to ever be caught in a submission, so I don't see Tony catching me or anything like that. But he is very dangerous on the ground, and I think his biggest attribute, his biggest strength, and the thing that people fear the most is he's just got a little bit of a screw loose, and that's what excites everybody.
He's not wrong. Ferguson is unconventional, to say the least. But what do you think? Let us know what you think of Chandler's statements in the comment section, and let us know who you think will win this fight. Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all the latest fight news. Kevin Lee says he's making more than most UFC champions in his current Eagle FC contract. Kevin Lee is happy about where he is in his fight career at the moment. The Motown Phenom was unceremoniously released from the UFC in November after getting suspended for testing positive for his ADHD medication, and has been on a losing skid as well, having dropped 5 of his last 7 fights dating back to 2017. As a one-time lightweight title challenger, Lee was devastated after the UFC parted ways with him, but he's still just 29 years old and was soon scooped up by Eagle FC, Khabib Nurmagomedov's fight promotion, to fight in the newly created 165-pound division. He's currently gearing up to take on longtime UFC veteran Diego Sanchez, who hasn't fought since 2020 and was released last year under some pretty bizarre circumstances involving his now former coach Joshua Fabia. Still, Lee is excited to be a part of history, as the two will square off at Eagle FC 46 on March 11th in Miami, Florida, and he's saying that the money he's making ain't bad at all. Case in point, in a recent interview with MMA Junkie, Lee said this:
people lose their life doing this type of shit, so the competitor in me is still up there and still driving. I'm making a bunch of money though. That part I'm not upset about. You know, my contract will make more than most UFC champions see. So that part's kind of nice. But the competitor in me still thinks this is the same game.
Still, there's been no details on any of the particulars of the contract. How much money is involved, how many fights or incentives. So there's really no way of knowing if Lee is even telling the truth here. But what do you think? Are you excited to see Kevin Lee fight Diego Sanchez on March 11th? And who you got in this fight? Sean Strickland sticks up for Beneil Dariush, says he's such a good man, it makes him uncomfortable. Sean Strickland is the kind of guy to speak his mind, especially as he becomes more open to the media while his star continues to rise. Strickland had trained alongside with Dariush at King's MMA in California, and sees firsthand how dedicated the Iranian American is to his craft. That's why, when Dariush suffered a leg injury that forced him to withdraw from the Islam Makhachev fight on February 26, Strickland, along with Marvin Vettori, went public to not only show his dismay at the situation, but to go to bat for Dariush and confirm that he really is seriously hurt. Case in point, this is what Strickland posted on Twitter about Dariush this week. I've walked in on closed-door Bible studies at King's, made me feel uncomfortable, which was followed by him asking me to join. Not the party I signed up for. Benny is one of the most honest guys I know. He's legitimately injured. He makes me feel uncomfortable. He's such a good man. It's a shame that Dariush is injured, mostly because this was to be a title shot eliminator to bring clarity to the lightweight picture. Add to that Dariush's impressive 7-fight win streak, and it's easy to see why many could see either Makhachev or Dariush fight for the title next. While champion Charles Oliveira is set to take on #1 contender Justin Gaethje later this year, the UFC was looking to have the winner of that fight battle it out against the winner of Dariush versus Makhachev. With the 32-year-old Dariush out, Bobby Green is stepping in on 10 days' notice to get the opportunity of a lifetime. What do you think of Strickland's words concerning Dariush? Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. See you next time.